Hello, I am your psychological mentor, Park Seni. Today we have another important topic. Are you good at asking for favors? Requests or favors you ask of others? I think I'm quite good at it, because by asking for favors, I was able to create classes that didn't exist in this country within the boarding school system, and I became a highly paid master's degree holder in psychology. By asking well, I married my beloved, beautiful, wise wife with an appropriate age difference. I asked for it. I asked her to become my wife. She granted my request well. If you make requests well, how will your life turn out? It will unfold very smoothly, beautifully, and happily. But when you look at people, they often don't want to make requests. If you make requests, others will grant them, and good things are bound to happen. But people don't make requests. There must be psychological issues. Let's address a few psychological issues. There are psychological barriers that immediately block these good requests. First, if there are no expectations, there will be no disappointment. It seems people have these kinds of thoughts. As a child, there might have been wounds, like when you asked your mother or father for something, and instead of hearing good words, you were scolded or even hit. If you had experiences where you asked for something sincerely, and they responded with, "Hey you brat, why are you expecting that?" and then hit you or took away what you had saying, "I think I've spoiled you too much," then you might have learned that expecting and asking for things only brings bad outcomes. So you decide not to ask or expect anything at all, thinking there will be no disappointment. It's unfortunate, but if such experiences accumulate from childhood, they can unconsciously form this mindset. And the second is the belief that giving is more admirable than receiving. It seems like people hold this kind of thought. So, is giving more admirable than receiving? That's right. It is true that giving is more admirable than receiving. Certainly, every religion will say this, that giving is more admirable than receiving. But the problem is, think about it when you were young. The same goes for older people, but in order to give something to others, to give something valuable, you must have received something from someone who has a lot of valuable things. Wisdom. I am also someone who has received a lot from the world. I have read a tremendous number of books written by great people in this world at the library, and by adding my own thoughts while walking, I was able to create ideas that help many others, so I have received a lot. I didn't just suddenly emerge from a deserted island. I received much more from the world, and I gained a lot by asking for opportunities from those successful people. So the key is that those who first receive enough and then request more can, as they walk, add interest upon interest and give back more to the world. But young people who haven't received anything try to give, and they have nothing to give. So they sing a song. All they have to give is their voice. This is a joke. Originally, in the strongest context, it would be fun. But anyway, I need to receive something like this. First, receive a lot of good things, and then add interest to give to others. Keep this in mind. And you know, even if it's not said, it would be a song like this. Even if you don't say it, the other person will understand everything. This is like when you're eating something. When you're eating something delicious, just by looking at your expression, one can tell it's tasty. But that's all there is to it. In other words, in the real world, if you don't speak up, it can be a big problem. For example, this is the real world for you. They got divorced because they didn't speak up. You understand, right? So thank you. Instead of not speaking, tell your husband or wife, "I want this. I like this, and I would like it if you did it this way." You should have kept asking and expressing what you want. You should have communicated, but instead you didn't talk, leading to disconnection and misunderstandings, and eventually divorce. So, in the end, you got fired from your job because you didn't speak up. Things like this happen, and ultimately, you need to say something. Keep expressing what you want to the world and to others. You must not remain silent. The only time you don't need to speak is when you're enjoying something delicious like a choco pie, and for that, we are grateful. Next, let's handle our own tasks ourselves, right? Kids should learn to manage things on their own. They handle it themselves. It's impressive. It's really impressive to manage your own tasks independently. But there's something I always tell our students who are retaking exams. Why would a student who manages their own tasks need to retake exams? Why would a student who manages their own tasks be doing that? It doesn't make sense. What this means is that managing your own tasks is truly admirable and valuable. But to do so, you need to have already understood and applied many of the world's truths and principles with solid knowledge. If someone has knowledge about motivation and can apply these aspects to themselves and others, they can manage their own tasks. However, if they lack such knowledge, it's unlikely they can manage their own tasks. This is impossible. So it's not that you shouldn't manage your own tasks, but rather you should understand that you need to make wise efforts to manage your tasks independently and seek help from others first. Don't be embarrassed to ask for help from those who are already functioning well. Ask them to teach you, and once you've equipped yourself with as much wisdom as possible, then show that you can manage your tasks independently. And while asking for help can lead to very positive outcomes, we have also looked into the psychological barriers that prevent us from making such requests. You may have multiple barriers, or perhaps just one or two, but I hope you carefully assess these and overcome them so you can ask for help more often, and thereby gain more. My students are very good at asking for help. The young students who have learned from me keep telling me how they continuously ask and approach important people, gaining more opportunities and becoming greater individuals. This makes me happy as well. I encourage you to keep asking and create a more impressive version of yourselves. If you found the video helpful, please subscribe and set the notification bell. Always stay strong and keep fighting. See you next time.